I first saw it on a Tuesday, standing at the edge of my backyard under the skeletal oak, where the floodlight barely touched the dark. It was small at first, like a shadow leaning against a tree, but I saw its eyes, black, glossy, like wet stones under moonlight. They stared, and when I blinked, it was closer. I tried to tell myself it was a trick of light, maybe a raccoon or a stray dog, but those black eyes never blinked. They hovered in the dark like floating holes, and they followed me as I moved inside, shutting the curtains. That night, I heard it scratching at the window. It started as a faint tap, like a fingernail on glass, slow and deliberate, matching the pulse I felt in my throat. I lay frozen, pulling the blankets up, knowing it was outside, tapping in time with my heartbeat. I forced myself to look. It was there, its face pressed against the glass. A pale grayish shape, too thin, with eyes that swallowed the reflection of the streetlights. Its mouth didn't move, but I heard something in my head, a whisper that sounded like my own voice, telling me to let it in. I shut my eyes and prayed, and when I opened them, it was gone. But it came back the next night and the next. I stopped sleeping, stopped going to work, and only moved from the bed to the window to check if it was still there. Sometimes I saw footprints in the mud below the window, small, like a child's, but wrong, with too many toes, too long, as if someone dragged a rake across the earth. Then it started knocking on the walls inside the house. At first I thought it was in the attic, moving in slow, heavy steps across the insulation and beams. Then it was under the floorboards, tapping out rhythms that I could feel through the mattress springs, like it was spelling something I couldn't understand. I covered all the mirrors, because I saw it there too. Standing behind me in the reflection, its black eyes level with mine, waiting, watching. I would close my eyes and it would whisper in that voice that sounded like me, telling me I was alone, telling me it was the only thing that would stay. One night I woke up and it was sitting on the foot of the bed. It didn't move, just watched me, its body thin and broken looking, like it had been pulled from a well and left to dry. It had no lips, but I saw the smile, skin splitting, as it tried to pull its mouth wide. Its black eyes never reflected light. They drank it in, and I saw nothing inside them but hunger. I tried to scream, but it leaned forward, pressing a cold hand over my mouth, and I felt the skin crack under its touch. It leaned closer, its face inches from mine, and I smelled earth and rotting leaves as if it had come from beneath the soil. It whispered again in my voice, "Let me in." And I did. I don't remember moving, but I found myself opening the front door, the wind cold on my skin as it stepped inside, crawling over the threshold on limbs that bent the wrong way, joints cracking like wet sticks. It was so light, so quiet as it moved past me, brushing against my arm, leaving something cold inside. I thought it would leave, that it would crawl back under the oak and disappear, but it didn't. It stayed. I see it now, in the mirrors I can't cover fast enough, standing just behind me, its black eyes over my shoulder. Sometimes I feel it crawl up the bed at night, pulling the blankets down slowly, pressing its cold face against my neck while I try not to move. When I look, there's nothing there, but the black eyes float in the dark, waiting for me to close mine. I hear it whisper when I eat, when I try to shower, when I pretend to sleep. "Let me in," it says, over and over, until I can't tell if it's my voice or its voice anymore. Sometimes I wake up in the yard, standing under the oak, my feet buried in the mud, staring at the house with empty eyes, waiting to be let back inside. I think it lives in me now. When I look in the mirror, I see its eyes in place of mine. Two black holes, shining with a hunger that isn't mine. Sometimes I feel it move my hands, tilting my head, practicing my smile in the glass, and I see the cracks in my chin where it tries to pull me open from the inside. I don't remember who I was before it came. I don't remember why I ever thought I was alone. It's with me, always, and sometimes it lets me look through its eyes, and I see the world through that endless black. I see you too, standing there reading this, thinking you are safe because you aren't alone in your room, because your doors are locked, your lights are on, and you haven't heard the tapping on your window yet. You will.
Like and subscribe to Scary Tales Story for more horror tales that will haunt your dreams and keep you checking the shadows.